All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Really excited for this bunch here. All right, DJT, I hope you see it before I say it. Really interesting setup here. I'm liking this one for sure. Mullen, big answer from a few days ago. It's weird. I can't tell if I want to say I was wrong or not, but nonetheless, today was monster. And I'll be honest, despite seeing an 80% day, it looks like it's hungry for more. I know oftentimes you see big numbers and you kind of expect it to cool down. Oh man, I can see it going another 50% and getting to the sevens. That's what we're going to talk about on that one. And then SOFI. I say this on every single stock, every single sector, from the big blue chips all the way down to the pennies and in between. Earnings are the craziest thing. They just really are. We really were talking about all three of these actually the whole day on the Discord. There's one I really want to show just real quick. You would think I would like prep these things, right? But no, I'm so sorry to scroll. I'm so sorry. Right here. This was the image. Look at all the beats. Look at all those green highlights of the word beat. Look at that single little light, and you know, I think this next Q light is maybe what did it. But again, it's crazy to see good news and bad candles. I have seen bad news and good candles. I'm telling you, earnings are crazy, all right? And today is just another example of that, okay? Really excited to talk about all this and more, but before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, excuse me there. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel, share this video online, comment good or bad if you disagree with anything. I'm telling you, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time, I am so grateful for it all right? So DJT, I started the video with it. I'm going to say it again. I'm liking this chart. I really am, okay? We for sure need confirmation. Confirmation is going to be the big thing for tomorrow, but I'm liking it, okay? I know there's a good amount of lines, but I really don't want to delete any. I think they're all actually pretty important, okay? Let me take a step back. So this was not DJT this entire time, all right? If you recall, this was DWAC. DWAC eventually de-SPAC'd, right? So it's a SPAC and then it de-SPACs and then it turns into this new ticker that we see here, okay? Big movement when it actually did it, and it was lovely if you hit it, right? Clearly, it's been a lot of bad since. We lose the 8, the 20, the 50, the 100. We make our way all the way down to the 200. Listen, the 200 is very hard to break up, and rightfully so. And you can literally see it right here. It is very difficult to lose down, right? So I am loving the technical movements here, all right? Someone on the Discord just before ending the video asked, hey, is there any real news on DJT? Is there any real reason that it's doing this? Look, to me, this is 100% a technical move right here, okay? Trump's definitely in the news. Trump, you know, there's a lot of people that really think he actually might win the election. Look, I am not here to give you my opinions about the guy. You know, I don't care what you think about the guy. It's actually a very nothing to do with Trump. It just is. This is the dudes that when his name is even whispered on a newspaper, let alone blasted all over TV, right? I immediately come and I look to this, okay? So I do think this is a little bit less Trump headline and way more this technical bounce, okay? So the last few days have been very interesting, okay? Because we make the bounce to this 8 and essentially the 100, right? It takes a while to get over the 100, and you can very easily say, and I am about to say it right now, look, we haven't confirmed any of this. right? We get over it, doji, doji, doji. That's a decent candle, doji, doji, decent candle. I need a good candle tomorrow. I really want to, I think here. Oh my goodness, we're already there. Get out of here. I think I want this. I think this will be our confirmation. If we can get to the 49s, all right, I think that's going to make me believe 52. And really, as I zoom out, okay, you can see it. Between this 42 and 52, it's a lot of fast up and down. Green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green, red, red. There's a lot of up and down that's fast. And then literally, it's even faster and it's even more, you know, gaps and goes between the 52 and the 61, okay? I do not think you should think above 61. I have the 71 here, but I think it's way too premature to think 71, let alone any higher than that, right? But I am liking this a lot. I'm going to delete this line. I know it's funny. I said I didn't want to delete lines, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that line. I'm going to delete this line. I think this one was close enough to the moving averages, and then that one was essentially on the 50, right? So tomorrow, what am I looking for if it's bad? Look, I think this can maybe come down to 44. I think 44 flat is a real maybe, okay? Otherwise, yeah, I'm expecting actually 49, and really we might even make the move to 52, okay? Coming down to the lower indicators, I am liking the divergence on the MACD. It's not as strong on the RSI, but look, that's a very, very healthy 60. It really looks like that MACD is hungry for the positives, and clearly that was a big volume outlier, right? But even yeah, let's just zoom in real quick. The last, what, 3, 6, 9 days have been nice candles on the volume, all right? Each of the ones that mattered, basically each of these green ones have been at least at the 50-day average, let alone the ones that have been above, right? It really looks to me the last 9 days, people have been buying and buying and holding and holding. There's very little flipping going on, and I love seeing accumulation. Accumulation is very important, all right? Even with this outlier, right, which clearly, I wouldn't even say clearly. I don't think it did that much to the 50-day line. It's not like it like wildly spiked it up. So that's good, actually. I do like seeing that. I do like seeing that. At the very minimum, look, before that spike, we were down here in the 600K volumes. We're definitely pushing the millions right now, which is nice to see. So again, I think this is a great setup. We really need a second follow-through candle. I would love 49 or more, okay? Look, on the weekly, this is also going above all the moving averages. I love it when the daily is above all and the weekly is above all, right? Like that's I love it when the two are kind of saying the same thing. MACD is already positive here. It's interesting to see both have this red over green over it. And it is obviously interesting to see this downward go, right? But today is only Monday, and today we've already hit most of the week's volume. All right, what does that mean? Look at the box over there, okay? We've been averaging the average 50, 11.9. You can basically say we've been averaging 12 million shares an entire week. Today, on a single trading day, we basically destroyed that. We hit 90% of that, and we only need another like 2, right? Give or take. I think that's even bad math, but yeah, this is amazing, amazing volume to start the week. I think that's got me believing that no, this isn't what it's going to look like. Hopefully, we can at least flatten out. What's today? So this right here was 35 million. Look, I don't know if all of the next days are going to hold this 10, but let's just say I think we have a real good shot at equaling last week's volume, and I love that. So yeah, I think there are a lot of things to like on this thing, and end of the day, I think we'll end it with 2 things. Number 1, the Twitter ban. Look, I don't use Trump Social. I don't. I have really no intentions of signing up. I have no idea if Twitter people will move there, right? Elon's been a little bit loud about free speech, and hey, maybe that does help Twitter. I don't know if Truth Social ends up getting a little bit of love when Twitter gets, you know, changes hands, whatever ends up happening to it, banned, whatever that word may be, right? So I think this this TikTok noise, excuse me, you can tell how good my social media skills are. I think this TikTok ban could be interesting for the social stock right here, right? And then again, the second thing is, look, Trump still hasn't named his VP. I think when he does that, that's going to bring some decent headlines. Trump's been like banging the drum on a debate. Oh man, if a debate happens, I think that'll bring some big head. I think that there are a lot of things that could bring attention to this stock. And that on top of this technical setup can make for real interesting things. All right. I see it dropping a little bit after hours. Look, that's absolutely insignificant to nothing is what I would say. It looks like it's less than a percent drop from there. Unless it's super, super loud, I never put any weight to after hours, all right? So please let me know your thoughts. Even if you disagree with any of them, I am liking DJT. So let's take a look at Mullen. I think Mullen's going to be an interesting one to look at next, okay? Really quickly, please, if you can subscribe to this channel, if you can share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms, all right? My goodness, my goodness, my goodness, all right? There is so much to like here. I don't even know where to start, but for real, this 81% isn't even my favorite thing on this view right now, all right? I think the place I want to start is here. Dudettes, my girls out there, right? Dude, we destroyed, and I'm using the word destroyed, we destroyed that 50 average line. This thing was at 520. We closed almost 10% higher than that, an extra 50 cents to give us that 570 plus close right there, right? Like, that is a monster 20% extra that came right there, okay? That's because look, we've seen it before. We've seen this thing get over the orange 20, make its way to the 50, and then lo and behold, back and under, right? We've seen it get over and sneak. We've seen it get over and sneak. We have not, since, my goodness, we have not had a green candle. Look at this view. Literally, look at this view. We have not had a green candle, and that's a real small, insignificant one. Over, my gosh, with the reverse splits and stuff, look how high it makes the number. I'm looking at the date though. Since February 2023, we have not had a single green candle over that 50 moving average. That is monstrous. That's monstrous. That's monstrous. That's monstrous. That 50 far supersedes that 80% in my eyes. Look, I hope you banked, right? I really, really do. I'll talk about my last video, which was on this day, right? I didn't think we were going to continue. It actually looked like we weren't. Today's news was interesting, and I talked about it on the Discord this morning. Math. Give me a second. That's some decent math right there. So what happened today? There was actually an article that someone put right there. There were granted S-Class 3V truck, something to do with a Class 3 EV truck, okay? What does that mean? I'm not going to pretend I know. I'm going to go ahead and move that because I see all those colorful lines going. I think all I really care about are the numbers. We're talking about a car. I don't even know if that 8 is right. It was 60 something. I'm going with 68. It might be even lower, 63, whatever, right? I'm kind of dyslexic with numbers here and there. The thing I loved is there's a 45K, and it says it in the headline right here. There's a 45K-ish worth of rebates. You're telling me that I'm going to get a car for about 70 and I'm going to get about 45K back in rebates? Oh, that's some good math right there. All right. Now, listen, there's a lot of debates about are EVs as hot as they were. There's a lot of people kind of talking about like gas prices versus EV charging prices and this and that. Look, as a whole, I think EVs are what they are, you know. I think as more states and more governments put some like regulations and better, you know, these 45K rebates and this and that, I think it'll help the sector, right? But yeah, I don't think EVs are going to go anywhere, right? And if you can introduce a car at a good price, that's going to help you in a very, very noisy market, right? Because let's be honest, everyone is making EVs. Honda and Hyundai, two arched rivals, are actually teaming up to make an EV together, right? Like EVs aren't going away, and they are very, very, very common nowadays, right? So when the math looks like this, I dig it. I do, and it's hard to think bad thoughts, right? So love today. I think it was very, very much almost justified. I don't want to use that word lightly, but yeah, I do. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about, because look, we were just talking about the 50 moving average, right? The volume. Okay, the volume today destroyed, and actually far more than this destruction right here, right? But we had a very, very big 13 million day on volume, right? 12.8 if you're looking at the box over there. Oh my goodness, right? If you watch Friends, my wife has made me watch Friends. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of funny. For sure it is. I can't pretend it's not. Like, it makes me think of Janice and her oh my goodness, right? Like, that is huge. That's huge. And again, with real news and good math on the news, it makes me think justified. It does. And at this point, all right, I'm liking this MACD and the RSI. Couldn't zoom out good enough, but look, we are closing in on the zero line and hopefully positive. That's a very, very healthy 64. Lots of room to 80. And look, I think the last big thing is actually after hours. This thing went up 80% and it's pretty much holding. Yeah, we're down like 5%. That's if you run 80%, I sometimes wonder if you're going to drop almost 50% and come down to like, well, no, that's horrible math, excuse me, like 20% and maybe come down like here. Like, we are holding, let alone we're not even that close to the 520 number, right? So really a lot to like. Look, I ended it actually before I came to the recording. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I love it. These people keep talking after I'm gone. I love it. I'm telling you. Gosh, where is it? I wish I record. There's some things. Mullen's hungry for the 780 seems real. It really does. And I think the weekly is where I saw the, no, not the weekly. Maybe it was this. 100 moving average right here is 780. It really seems like it wants 780. I even think, I would say 725 seems like the real next target, but at that point, I just feel like it might wick up a little bit more and go. So I'm liking it. Again, the last thing we want is a big volume drop, right? So I'm hoping we get around, let's call it 45 million shares, all right? And if I want 45 million shares in a 7-hour trading day, I'm looking for 6.4 million shares, right? So I'm looking for, what, 13-ish by that second hour, right? So, yeah, I think that's a good Mullen review right there. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything. I know I'm running a little bit long, but I still want to cover SOFI on this because there's actually not too much to talk about on SOFI. All right, so ooh, I just kicked something. I want to start with a little bit of a disclaimer, and I know there's a lot of love for SOFI. There are some stocks, I don't want to use the word attacked, because believe me, I don't feel like you girls are attacking me, right? But I know there are a lot of passionate people on SOFI, and when I say bad things about SOFI, people kind of come at me. And you know, I think it's just really important to look at both sides of the coin, and I'm still a little bit of a not believer on SOFI for a couple different reasons, you know, and the main one really just is I feel like the fact that they are pretending, and I don't want to use the word pretend, that's a horrible word, right? But the fact that they are banking on being this like technology forward banking and investment platform and this and that, I just don't buy it. I don't think of technology when I think of Wells Fargo, when I think of Citi, when I think of Bank of America. BMO's getting a little bit louder, at least on the West Coast. But um, I don't think of technology when I think of those, but I don't see those just bending over and saying you can have technology, you know? So I don't know. That's just my kind of fundamental 2 cents. And I'm a technical guy. So like, I hope I didn't have people, just disconnect real quick or give me the finger while I said all that. All right. But earnings are crazy. Earnings are crazy. Earnings are crazy. And that's going to be the main thing I talk about on this video. All right. So real quick, if you can please share, if you can please subscribe, it does wonders with the algorithms. All right. So I got to scroll really quickly and I don't want to do it while I show it. So I'm going to pause this real quick, find the image and then come back. Give me 1 second. It's the one I started the video with. Okay. I'm back. So this is a snapshot of what was said this morning, and clearly there are a lot of really good things on this little screenshot. There is beat after beat after beat after beat after beat. I can keep going, right? There is so much good. And hey, there was a comment that said the last, I think 3, maybe 4, excuse me if I'm getting the numbers wrong, but the last couple have actually beat expectations just like we're seeing here, all right? I have seen better earnings, let alone some that are, this is phenomenal. This is home run level hit expectations. And you gap down and you're back at the 702 resistance, the line that I've been talking about, we're back to it. Like, I literally said on the last call we were either coming to 920 or 702, and man, I'm not here pretending I knew this was going to be the one it went to, but I knew it was going to be one of the 2 extremes. And this is why I always say I would much rather not hold a single share during earnings and then play the uptrend that follows on good, or avoid the avalanche on bad. Listen, in my head, we're about to lose this line. We're about to lose the line that has saved us after saved us after saved us. It is not gonna say, look, nothing's guaranteed. 1000% chance that I am very, very wrong on this. I do not believe that there is anything that this 702 line can do anymore. MACD is ready to go down. RSI is already ready to go down. That is a bad volume growth. We are probably heading at least to 650. I don't think 650 can hold. I see this little bit right here, but I think we're coming down to 580, 590. Earnings reactions hold. Earnings reactions linger. Earnings reactions don't just sit for a couple candles and then go away. Listen, S&P 500 is doing way better than I expected. S&P 500 is coming to a test. And if you remember, like, I'm not pretending I wasn't wrong. I keep showing this. I thought it was going to be a quick spike up and down. So far, we did a better recovery than I really expected, but we still haven't gotten over these 2 lines, okay? So even with the S&P 500 doing better than I expected, even if we break that 50 and actually head back on up to like 515-ish on SPY, which is basically 5,150-ish, yeah, 170-ish, whatever, on the S&P 500, even if all that happens, I don't think we're holding. I at least think we would maybe only go down to 650. Maybe a good S&P 500 makes 650 hold. Otherwise, 590 really makes the most sense to me. Listen, I saw how good all of that. Oh, the screenshot's gone. Sorry. I saw how good it all looked. I did. I saw that there was some soft guidance and this and that. Listen, guidance is huge, right? The market cares less about what you did today and more about tomorrow. All right, there's an Eddie Murphy joke, like, what have you done for me lately? Like, he does it in a real deep African voice. Eddie, what have you done for me lately? I don't know if you've seen it or not, but go look it up. What have you done for me lately, right? And SOFI is telling us, hey, come next quarter, I don't know if it's going to be that good. And believe me, I forgot about the nice that you just talked about because now I have to worry about the future that's about to come, right? So, what have you done for me lately, man? I'm telling you, it's a good Eddie Murphy joke that really means a lot in the market, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, if you're a long, let me know your perspective. Let me know, number one, if you like SoFi more than me. Number two, if the earnings were actually fantastic in your viewpoint and make you want to go longer and stronger, right? Like, let me know. I'm telling you, I'm not here pretending I know it all and this and that, all right? So, hey, thank you so much for the time.